Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and read chapter 22 of Masterminds, and chapter 22 is from Eli's perspective. Of the 4 cars ahead of me, the blue one is the problem. It's weaving into the gap every time I try to pass. I yank on the wheel in an attempt to sneak through on the inside, but my tire scrapes against the curb and I have to veer off. Suddenly, the blue car spins out on the straightaway. I jump into the empty space, threading the needle between the green SUV and the yellow taxi. A victorious cry of "Yes!" escapes me. I'm in second place. My father appears in the doorway. Eli, isn't it time you got started on your homework? Who could think about homework now? I've only got one more racer to beat. My foot presses down where the gas pedal would be if this were a real car. I jump past the red convertible into the lady. Eli, louder this time, you've been at this for a couple of hours already. There's nothing wrong with a little gaming, but when did you become such a idiot? There's an answer to that question, but not one I can give to Dad. I'm teaching myself how to drive. Sure, I know that there's a big difference between Street Racers 2014 and actually being behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, but this is the closest I'm going to get, and it'll have to do. At least the steering part is kind of similar, and the way the road comes at you. I'll have to get the hang of the gas and brake pedals on the fly. Malik is doing the same thing on his own game system. I pause the Xbox. You're right, Dad. I'll get to it. I've been very obedient lately. We all have. Our obedience is part of the plan to pave the way for the colossal act of disobedience that's coming up soon. Good work habits take a lifetime to develop, Dad lectures. Poor ones take barely a heartbeat. More life lessons from the guy who cloned criminals just to see what would happen. I try to seem abashed. Sorry. He softens. Don't be too hard on yourself. Serenity Day is coming up. We all will feel the spirit in the air. Yeah, Dad. You said a mouthful. I have something to show you, Eli. I thought you might know who this belongs to. I recognize it before he turns over the 3x5 card. He hands it to me. It's Baron Vladimir von Horsteeth, one of everybody's favorites. I can tell by its dog-eared condition that it's changed hands more than a few times around the school. Where did you get it? I ask in a small voice. Mrs. Laska found it after meditation today. I recognize Randy's handwriting, and maybe one that's a little bit more familiar. My mind whirls. This is the worst possible time for my dad to get suspicious. Better to make a full confession and take my lumps than risk having him think I'm hiding something. There's a whole set, I admit. My ears burning. The kids trade them. We didn't mean any harm. It's disrespectful of the good work the surety does for us, my father says, with a disapproving frown. I know, we made them as a joke and they're just kind of caught on. I take all the blame. Oh, I'm giving you all the blame. Randy isn't here to share any of it with you. Then he does something completely unexpected. He laughs at his own joke. This blows me away because A, he laughed, and B, he made a joke. Of course, he does tear up the Baron. I expect you to do the same with the others as soon as you collect them. And he walks out of the room. But I can see that he's trying hard not to smile. Unbelievable. Either my father has a sense of humor, or the Purple People Eaters are even more goof-worthy than Randy and I thought. I wait until he's all the way down in the kitchen before resuming my game. This time with the sound muted. Driving lessons aren't an option. They're a necessity. It's Tori's idea. She's the one who came to the conclusion that if we're going to escape Serenity, bikes just won't cut it. Look how fast Mrs. Delaney made it out to where we rode that night. By the time our parents realize we're missing and send the Purples after us, we need to be far enough away that they won't know where to look. Face it, we're going to have to be in a car. We even figured out which car we're going to be taking. My dad's brand new Lexus. It'll be easy. He leaves the spare keys in the junk drawer in our kitchen. Why would he bother to hide them? The only potential car thieves in town can't make it past the invisible fence, or so he thinks. Knowing that the barrier is being generated by the satellite dish on the cone truck changes everything. True, we can't be 100% positive until we test it, but we scour the town and there's nothing else it could possibly be. The plan is simplicity itself. Knock out the dish, take the car, and goodbye. By the time Malik and I feel even semi-confident behind the wheel, Serenity Day is less than 48 hours away. I'm nervous. It's too risky to try anything now. People are outside decorating their houses with streamers and bunting. The Purples are all over the parks, setting up the picnic tables. Maybe we should wait a few days, Amber suggests, till after the celebration is over. That's easy for you to say, protests Hector. The minute Serenity Day is done, Malik might get weeded. They could send him away and we'll never see him again. For all we know, it means... And then he falls silent. Chill out, Hector, Malik says quietly. It's supposed to happen after Serenity Day, but not necessarily in the first 5 minutes after. I'll be fine. He's trying to sound confident and not really succeeding. Or, Tori interjects, we could make our move on Serenity Day itself, right in the middle of the nighttime fireworks. We goggle at her. It's the perfect distraction. The whole town's in the park. Even the purple people eaters are on the skeleton staff. It's dark and everybody's eating ice cream and looking up. I take back every time I called you stupid, Malik crows. Serenity Day. Like we're taking their unholiday and using it against him. There's genuine relief beneath the surface of his usual in-your-face attitude. Don't celebrate yet. There's a million things that can go wrong, and some of them probably will. We have to know this plan like the back of our hands and get every single detail exactly right. In a town full of well-behaved kids, we make sure we're the best behaved of the lot. You can practically see our halos. When we go to school, we put the finishing touches on our Serenity Day projects and practice in the pool for the big water polo match. But in private, when nobody's watching, we spend every spare minute reading up on life in the real world. We save our allowances, open old piggy banks, and hoard every dollar offered to us to buy a snack or ice cream. Not even Tori can plan more than a few miles past the town limits because none of us have any idea what we'll find out there. Will a group of kids on their own attract attention? Where can we live and sleep? How important will money be? Will Osiris send the purple people eaters to track us down? Or will they write us off and focus on the clones they have left? They have to come after us, is Amber's opinion. We're walking, talking proof of what they've been doing in Serenity that they're still doing. What if the outside world already knows about Project Osiris and think it's just fine, Tori says. Hector shakes his head. Not according to the internet. The website says Osiris is scrapped because it was considered immoral. I think our folks would be in a big trouble if the word got out. Counting on it. I want to be there to see my parents' faces when I testify against them in court. I hope they go to jail for what they did. The rest of us exchange uncomfortable glances. Although we're all angry with our parents, Amber's desire for revenge is a little chilling. I can't help but wonder whose DNA she wound up with. My father deserves to be brought to justice more than anybody, yet it hurts to think of him suffering in some jail. Not only is our plan half-baked, we're not even sure what to hope for if we succeed. Another possible weakness is Mrs. Delaney. She knows what we tried to do that night. She's kept our secret so far. If she hadn't, we'd all be on Dr. Bruder's magic pills. But she's in a tough spot herself, being married to a purple people eater. And as our water polo coach, she sees us every day, which gives her plenty of chances to ponder whether or not she's doing the right thing by covering for us. We're all swimming extra hard to keep her happy. The quality of water polo in this town has never been better. I think she sees through it, though. She's been distant in all business where she used to be warm and friendly. I tried to engage her in conversation a few times, but she only wants to talk about improving her skills. Once in private, I even go as far as to mention the time you gave us a lift from that surety pickup. She doesn't take the bait. We don't need her to sign a blood oath, Eli, Malik points out. We just need her to keep her mouth shut a few more days. Besides us, Tori, it's not like she's the only thing that can go wrong. Face it, the minute we're past the barrier, we're lost. We haven't got a clue where we're going. There's nobody we can ask since we don't know a single person outside of Serenity. That's not technically true. I actually thought of this a couple days ago, but I haven't mentioned anything before now because I'm still not sure if it's worth pursuing. But with time to 0 hour counting down, it's something we all have to consider. We do know someone out there. We know Randy Hardaway. All right, guys, that is the end of chapter 22. Exciting.